Guarding John Wayne? Yeah, I did that. Stay tuned and find out.
Are you ready for true tales from a real undertaker? Everything from strange situations to crazy paranormal experiences. For over 20 years, Mark Tucson was a funeral director and embalmer working everywhere from California to Japan. Get set to hear about his hauntingly crazy adventures.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm a funeral director. I'm retired, did it for like 20 years. Uh, I have a lot of interesting stories. Uh, this week, I'm going to talk about guarding John Wayne. Of course, when John Wayne died, I was only like 14 years old. Uh, this was on the 10th anniversary of his death, so it'd be June 11th, 1989. Uh, Fun fact is my embalming teacher at Cypress College in Cypress, California, he's the guy that actually embalmed John Wayne when he passed away. Um, the family was very worried about people coming in and taking his remains, I guess, hold them hostage or something, ransom. So for years, the grave was unmarked, and not many people knew where it was. I was lucky enough to find out because I became friends with the security guard there at the cemetery. The cemetery was called Pacific View in Newport Beach, California. It overlooks the ocean, so it's a really beautiful place, and I can understand why the family wanted him to be buried there. His boat, the Gray Goose, was close by too. It was in the harbor there. Um, anyway, on the 10th anniversary of their death, the family was really alarmed that somebody would try something. Uh, so, knowing the security guard, he asked me if I would be willing to come out and spend the night with him to guard the place. And I did get paid. Uh, so, Friday night, it was a weekend. Friday night, I went out there at around dusk. Um, had a bunch of coffee, of course, some food, and he gave me a walkie-talkie, and I got in my car, and he was in his car, and we just kind of hung out on opposite sides of the cemetery to see if we could see anybody. Well, that night we caught like two people, and I think they were just coming in to scare each other or something. I don't believe they were there for John Wayne, but he let them go and told them not to come back. Uh, Next day, I slept almost all day, of course. Got there at dusk again, and we set up, same as the night before. And about 9 o'clock, the gates were locked. We started catching people come over the fence. There was quite a few of them. Um, a lot of them were just there just to scare each other, I guess. He said that he got quite a few people going over the walls even on regular days. That's why they had a guard there. But we did catch one group that they said they wanted to come and say hi to John on his death date anniversary. Well, we chased them off. We told them don't come back. We'll call the police. Um, we caught another group that came over the wall. They were there to see John Wayne, but they kind of acted like they weren't. They were saying, "Oh, we just came to see a friend of ours," and so we told them, "Hey, you can't come in. It closes down at 8." Uh, After midnight was when it really started. We started catching, groups of 5, groups of 3, groups of 2, coming over the wall. Uh, there was quite a few people, and I remember the one group, they had a bottle of whiskey with them, and they said, "Well, we're just here to drink a drink with John, on the anniversary of his death." Um, Nobody got arrested. We just kind of chased them off. Uh, but yeah, I was surprised at how many people came over. He told me that the guard told me that a lot of people come over, they try to scare themselves and scare their friends or whatever. But the only other time I ever guarded the cemetery was when I was working in Tucson, Arizona. It was a Halloween weekend, of course. Lucky for me. Um, there was a replica of the Vietnam Wall that was touring the country at the time. It came to our location there, and it was out in the cemetery. Of course, they didn't want anybody to damage it or tag it or whatever, and we were kind of a bad part of town. Uh, so that night they also hired the Arizona Rangers. Well, the Arizona Rangers used to be an actual law enforcement group back in the early 1900s. They did their job so well they put themselves out of work. So they were disbanded in, I think it was 1909. Uh, this group is actually a security group, more of a security group. They are volunteers, and any pay they get, they put towards charitable groups. They give the money away to charity. So it's really a great group, and my friend Doug is a member down in the Rangers down in Tombstone, Arizona, still. Um, but anyways, we got down there, and you know, it, for some reason in Arizona, it seems like Halloween is the day that everything turns cold. You're 90 degrees the day before, and then all of a sudden that night it goes down to below freezing. Uh, so we're out there hiding, among the headstones, and I was in the mausoleum, which gets a lot colder. And it's funny because they say there's a saying that funeral directors have that it's 10 degrees colder in the cemetery, and that's true. So here I am freezing, and yeah, all night these kids, it was Halloween, so they were just coming in, and I don't think they were there for the wall. I think they were just there to scare each other and you know try to say, hey, I went into the cemetery on Halloween. But yeah, we chased kids out of there all night long, and the next morning I was just really tired. Oh, but yeah, you'd be surprised at how many people go into cemeteries at night just to scare themselves or scare their friends or whatever. But uh, now the reason I'm doing these videos is because my friends have told me, I've had an interesting life and I've had some, great stories. Uh, Ever since I got COVID or the vaccine, I was kind of forced to take the vaccine because of my job. My memory is going. So I just wanted to get stuff onto video before, I just totally lose my memory, it seems like. Uh, so next video will be a little more exciting. It's going to be about the 4th of July weekend. That was a weekend from hell for me and my friend Dan. But yeah, I will be back next week with another video for you. Uh, Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. I'd like you to subscribe if you could and share the video. But I will see you next week with something new. Thank you for watching.